Hello everyone, Nadasfan here, bringing you a computer versus computer simulation of the 2010 Stanley Cup Finals between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Chicago Blackhawks.
Good so far in the playoffs, he just has to keep it up.
Chicago does hold the home ice advantage in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they use it to their advantage in Game 1. Dustin Byfuglien driving the net and getting on the board first. The power play goal has the Madhouse on Madison in a frenzy. The party continues as defenseman Brent Seabrook gets on the board. The Blackhawks faithful are loving every second of this Game 1 action. And they are not done on the score sheet, as some pretty passing leads to another goal by a defenseman, this time Nick Boynton.
Just from watching all the passing. What exit? Big time. He shoots. He scores.
John Madden nets the fourth Chicago goal, and the rout is on.
Pass him down low. He's got it along the line. And that's the end of this game. It is over.
The Hawks pick up the Game 1 victory, 4-1. They dominate the Flyers in all aspects in Game 1, including some great goaltending and some offensive help from the Blue Liners. The Hawks outshoot the Flyers 27-15, due in large part to the 4-1 power play advantage.
Is to even this series up with a win tonight.
So the Flyers try to regroup for Game 2 and put in a solid effort. Both goaltenders are tested, and both come up large in this game. A much tighter defensive game leads to this pretty passing play at the start of the second period. Patrick Sharp gets on the board for the Blackhawks to make it 1-0. Both scoring chances and power play attempts way down in this game due to some responsible defensive play. Chicago takes that 1-0 lead into the dressing room at the second intermission, comes back recharged in the third, and is able to shut the Flyers down for the 1-0 shutout and the 2-0 series lead.
And that's it. This game is over. Chicago's win, and they take it. And with this one complete.
Jonathan Toews held off the scoreboard in this game, but does tally an assist and the third star of the game. Goaltender Antti Niemi stops 18 shots for the shutout. So the Flyers drop a heartbreaker in Game 2 and fall to an 0-2 hole in the Stanley Cup Finals. The silver lining for the Flyers, however, is that they are returning home to Philly for Game 3. The Wachovia Center is rocking as the Flyers take the ice, hoping to get their first victory in the series. And to accomplish this, goaltender Michael Leighton would have to be brilliant in this game. Early on, this cross-crease pass from Bolin to Jonathan Toews puts the Blackhawks up 1-0, but the Flyers would respond. Simone Gagne ties it at 1, but the Blackhawks would keep coming. Defenseman Duncan Keith tickles the twine and puts the Hawks up 2-1. Richards gets the equalizer for the Flyers with only 5.5 minutes left in the hockey game. This would turn out to be the last goal that anyone in the Wachovia Center would see for a good long time, as this game settles into overtime play. Both teams would endure 4 overtime periods when some hard work by Carter along the boards results in a chance and a goal to finally end this hockey game.
The Blackhawks lose this game.
The emotionally fatigued Flyers fans are relieved to see their team crawl back into the series, now only trailing 2-1. An emotional victory puts the Flyers back into the series, but you have to wonder how much is left in the tank. Michael Leighton did indeed weather the storm and kept his team in the game through 4 overtime periods with a chance to pull out the victory, which they do, 3-2.
Stick to break that up. Good effort on a one-timer. Great movement right there with the goaltender. And now score!
The Flyers pick up where they left off in Game 3, scoring early in Game 4 as Gagne finds the net. It would soon be a 2-goal lead as defenseman Chris Pronger finds a way to get his shot past goaltender Antti Niemi. The Blackhawks settle down defensively after Pronger's goal, led by their standout goaltender. The two teams trade chances back and forth for most of the middle part of the game. The Blackhawks cut the lead to 2-1 late in the game as Patrick Kane finally gets on the score sheet. The late flurry by the Blackhawks is too little too late as the Flyers take the game 2-1 and even the series at 2 games apiece. So the home team has prevailed in each of the first 4 games of this year's Stanley Cup Finals as the scene shifts back to Chicago for Game 5. Philadelphia looks to reverse that trend as they get the first goal of the game from Aaron Asham.
Closing in on the end of the loop. And he scores! Big goal when they needed it.
The Hawks respond with a nifty goal of their own by Versteeg and follow up with this rebound goal by the captain, Jonathan Toews.
He is at your mercy.
The Hawks tack on an empty net goal late and come away with a 3-1 victory in Game 5 to hold a 3-2 series lead going into Game 6. The Blackhawks make the most of their chances in this one, scoring 3 goals on only 11 shots, but take home the victory, heading back to Philadelphia. Game 6 and the Flyers must win in order to keep the series alive. Daniel Briere does his best to see that happens early as he scores the power play tally. Next up, a key point in the series as Mike Richards gets called for a game misconduct for his slash on Jonathan Toews. This slash would force Toews out of the lineup as the Flyers started to roll in Game 6.
Scoring position and a save made. Score!
Brouwer's goal would cut the lead in half after a nifty play by Patrick Kane.
Part of it was work, part of it was precision passing, and part of it was getting into...
From this point out, the game belonged to the Flyers as they cruise to a Game 6 victory.
Oh, he wristed that one. Big time chance. Scores! Third period goal. That's going to do it in this game. Philadelphia's won. That is even this series. Now it's up for grabs. It's 3-3.
Jeff Carter and company take care of business in a big way in Game 6 and roll on into Chicago for a deciding Game 7. Remember back to that slash and game misconduct in Game 6? Well, it's going to cost Chicago in Game 7 as captain Jonathan Toews will not be able to be in the lineup. A hotly contested Game 7 turns Philly's way with only 3 minutes left in the game. However, when all felt lost for the Hawks, they get a rebound goal from Patrick Sharp and tie it up with only minutes remaining in regulation. The Stanley Cup Final comes down to a sudden death overtime decision, and here's what happens.
Scoring. That's it. They have won the Stanley Cup.
After playing for the losing side in the Stanley Cup Finals for the last 2 seasons, Marian Hossa gets the game winner for the Blackhawks, and they win a very hotly contested series, 4-3, to take home the Stanley Cup to Chicago.
That's one thing nobody can ever take away from you. Congratulations.
And after all the effort both these teams put in, they now go through the line.
Gary, that tells you about the respect that these guys have for one another. I mean, they earn the respect.
And there's the commissioner and the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Chicago goaltender Antti Niemi takes home the Conn Smythe Trophy. And as Jonathan Toews is out of the lineup with injury, Marian Hossa fills in wearing the C, and gets to hoist the Stanley Cup. As for a personal prediction, I'm going with the Hawks in 6 games. I think Taves, Kane, and Hossa and company will be too much for the Flyers, and they'll get it done in 6 games. Also, unlike the Sim, I believe that Jonathan Taves will be there to hoist the cup in the end. After all, he is the captain, and he will play through anything that he endures. So there you have EA's simulation, as well as my prediction. Until next time, this is Nadasfan. See you later, guys.
Their names go on the cup.